Lost in the city trying to find a way. Money on my mind, I need that 5 a day. Niggas scheming, trying to find a way. Chasing dreams, gaining peace, they feel some type of way. 8s and 16s, 32s, make decisions, make the right moves. Man, I'm back for this rap thing. I had to leave, yeah, due to distractions. But money's on my mind, no time for these jokers. Playing games got me feeling like it's poker. I did it for the passion, never for the fashion. I'm so hungry, man, I need to go grab it, eat. Got this Annie, messing with my gravity. Lifestyle, messing with my sanity. I took a break for a minute, I had to fix up my grammar. Yo people, it's your boy Father G. This is episode 3 of Talks with G. This is part 1. I'm here with Dom and Saskia. Today we're going to do things a bit different. First of all, we're going to watch the last video, episode 2, with my peers, and the girls are going to say their reviews on certain points that they feel like they should have opinion on. So yeah, let's see what comes from that, and then following that we're going to ask them the same questions that have been asked to my peers in the previous episode. So yeah man, gotta treat up the things, man. Feel like the government helps young males who have children.
No, not really still. Like a mother can have a child and say this person is the father, and if she said this person is the father, the government's going to run down that father to get a blood test and all that stuff to say, yeah, that's the father, then they start claiming money from that person. That makes sense. More like, if you were on the flip side of the coin, reading through that, if I went to go get like a paternity test done, and if they'll get a mother's consent and everything like that, and she doesn't want to do it,
that's a lie.
More times do it ain't gonna get done. So
well, let's expect for him to finish his point.
I've been in that situation, made them phone calls, and where mothers get a lot more help than fathers still. That's a lie. Free help as well.
I hear that still. Don't make them independent like us, man, you feel me?
Independent which part, please?
Yeah, still. Anyone else want to comment on that question?
To be honest, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say I know much about being a father.
Okay. Hold on there. We're going to Dean's part. Yeah? So, he said that mothers can just go through the government and get a paternity test and blah, 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 blah. Yeah? And as a father...
Do you mean blah, 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 blah?
Well, if you've watched the Talks with G, episode 2 with my peers, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Exactly, but if you haven't...
Okay, if you haven't, he said that as a mother you can go through the government and get a paternity test and it's free, and then once they prove you're the father, you're entitled to, you're obliged to pay, and but that's what he basically said. Whereas he's saying that as a man, if you wanted to get a paternity test, they have to go and get the mother's consent, and basically implying that he'd have to pay for himself. No, that's not the case, because if you were to go through the courts, it would be the same for you. It would be what applies for a woman would apply for a man if you went through a court. If you were going for parental rights, it's the same thing. Like, you don't have to go through the mother to get a paternity test. You can do it privately. Yeah, you can do it privately for one, because you don't actually have to have the mother included in the test. And two, if you do want to go through the government, there are ways you can override it. It's just that you need to look into it if you really want to do it. That's it. And then there was a bit that he said was like, what was he talking about then?
No, I think it was the same bit you said.
Is it the same bit?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it was when he said that single mothers get more help than single fathers.
Yeah, no, that's a lie.
Yes.
That's a lie. That is such a lie right there, because if you really wanted the help, the same help females get, the same help males get. Males just choose to sit back and expect it to be handed. We have to go out.
No. You have to, when you say those things, you have to be careful. Certain males.
Certain men, certain men will just sit down and expect it to be handed to them. Whereas that's not the case. We will have to go out. If you, like you said, we get like a house in for free. Do you know how we have to sit down every single day and do paperwork and do this? That's the same thing. If you wanted it, you have to go and do the same things we do.
That's very true.
And you'll get it. If that's the case, and they'll investigate like how they investigate us, you will get it. Because if you're a single father, the same thing applies to you. You can't be living on the street with your child. They will not see you living on the street with your child. So you go to them and you get the same things that we do get.
And then even as exactly, if you're a single father and you can prove you're a single father, it's legal that you're a single father.
Exactly.
You get the exact same thing as
thing.
a single mother would get. It's the same process. It's not going to be any different. You're still going to have to wait. You're still going to have to go through, like you said,
Go to
all the
a hostel,
paperwork, everything. You're still going to have to go through all the same steps.
Yeah, but then what they're saying is that as a female, it's like they're more persistent with you than they are with a male. Where a male will, they have their ego, they have.
Exactly. That's the point.
Some
men made their ego stand in the way.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But obviously they still want to do those things. But it's like once they've kind of shown lack of interest, the people that are helping them will just leave them to do whatever they're doing. Whereas if it's a mother, like a single mother by herself, they're gonna be more persistent in following through on what's going on with that mother and getting her to.
I don't agree. Because
you don't think so?
No, if the mother's the same way, if the mother's if she closes down everything, she's not persistent on it.
I can vouch for that because I wasn't. When it comes to my house, then I let it slide, and they wasn't gonna house me because I'm not keeping up to it. They put me in a hostel. I do not stay in the hostel. So what happened? I lost the hostel.
So it's the same thing
because I've been in that place.
And when you were saying males with the pride,
it's gone.
I think that's definitely the main issue is the pride. Because I'm not being funny. Like you were saying, I've been there. Like I've had to put my pride aside and literally do some rock bottom things for my kids. Because I know that they need it. I need to do it for them.
There's nobody else going to do it.
Exactly. There's no pride about it. When it comes to my kids, I do what I need to do. There's no pride about it. I'm not going to be ashamed to ask. I'm not going to be ashamed to go and look for what I need to look for. If it's for them, then I will do it. There's no pride about it. There's nothing to do with that. So if that's how certain men want to feel, then that's really down to them. It's not down to the government helping women.
They're not going to chase up if you're not interested in it. You have to show that you're interested in, no, I need this for my child. This has to be done. Be persistent. Call them. Everything. That's what we have to do to get things done.
Okay.
It's very true. And if he was referring to people in relationships where they're not like official, like they're not married, or so it's not legal on papers. If he's referring to the fact that the father doesn't get as much help as a mother in that sense, I do understand where he's coming from. But then if you go legal with the relationship, then you would get help equally. You may not get as much help because as far as the government's concerned, you're now legally a couple, but you will still get what you're entitled to in terms of extra help. So if your partner's earning a whole heap of money, you're not going to get anything as a couple. But if you're earning below a certain amount, you're going to get help as a couple. So if the person in the video was referring to that kind of relationship, then if it was legal, if they were married, they would get help as a married couple. It wouldn't be single mother, single father, because you're married, so you'll get help as a married couple. So yeah, next bit.
Down to help with schools and all that stuff. Child maintenance. For a father now, boy,
you get
you might be able to get child maintenance, maybe child like
better get a cosign.
Once a dad makes a certain amount of money, that's what they go off of. That's how much money they take. If you make a little bit, they will take a little bit. But it just depends on what you earn. If you're not going to give it to me willingly, then it's going to be a case where I'm going to have to take it.
And that is very specific to spiteful mothers as well. I won't say spiteful because there's two. There's either you have to do it, you ain't got a choice, you're forced to, or you're just being spiteful because you don't want to negotiate. Yeah. Which again, fathers can do something about. I know so many people. Like fathers can do something about that.
Definitely.
I've seen spiteful mothers that have.
Of course.
Listen.
Of course.
They just bit themselves in the arse because they want to complain about the money that they're getting from fathers, but then when it goes through courts, they end up getting less. They end up getting less because you want to be greedy. So it does. I do understand there are greedy mothers out there. There are greedy mothers out there.
You have to work hard for your money.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But at the end of the day, that is not a general. That is not a general comment. It's not a general statement. You can't just say, "Oh, the government just takes money." It's not a general statement. It's only in specific cases that's going to happen. If you've got a baby mum who's not greedy and not a money grabber,
just
you're not
like
nappies. You're not going to have that problem. You're not going to have that problem. So that comment is really is a bit too general. It doesn't apply to all baby mothers. it doesn't
It's
apply
like
to all of them.
specific ones.
It's specific, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, there's others that are forced to do it because the fathers are being the Scrooges, you know?
Yeah,
it's just,
true.
it goes both ways.
Definitely.
So,
I feel so, yes. Because, to be honest, if you don't have both parents, that means you've either got one parent trying to teach the role of a parent, or you've got a mum trying to teach. But it didn't have to be a boy, you've got a woman trying to teach a boy how to be a man.
That's a good point.
yeah, very good point.
That's yeah.
It is. It's
It's
a very
hard.
good point. It is. That is very hard. Speaking as someone with a son,
Yeah.
it is hard. That is hard. Like, they do want that male role model eventually.
Definitely.
Like, they want-
Definitely. And the things they ask, and you just don't know how to
you
explain
don't know
it
how
to
to
them. You just
explain
like,
it, and then you're not really a role model because you, as much as we want in this world, we want to be talking about gender equality. It's not equal. Men are men, women are women.
Yeah.
We do things differently.
Definitely.
You have bias, you have all of it, and I'm not discriminating anybody, but we all do things differently.
Definitely.
And if you're taking the mentality of a woman, usually you're going to do things differently from someone taking the mentality of a man.
yeah, definitely.
It's just that simple, and I do
believe that men, boys do need a strong role model.
Yeah, they do. Well, then so do girls.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
They need strong
It's
male
both.
role models.
Yeah,
Like you're saying,
yeah.
So yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
Definitely.
it's true.
You didn't have a father figure prior, that you can't then teach your offspring how to be a man or teach your little daughter how to pattern. You definitely personally, from a personal experience, it does have an effect because right now I've got a little boy, but I'm doing it off my own back because I didn't have predominantly someone teaching me how to be a man. I have my mum telling me.
Then there's that bit. Like fathers now that didn't have their fathers growing up, I think it's so much harder on them because they don't really know how to be a dad. They still kind of have to learn themselves. Do you know what I mean? Learn how to do certain things because they didn't have their dad growing up. So they're all kind of starting from scratch. When the child's coming to them asking these questions, it's all kind of like, shit, my dad didn't talk to me about this. What do I say? Do you know what I mean? So
That's very true.
definitely, I think definitely.
And next thing as well, when you're young, you make more mistakes. As you get older, you make less mistakes because you perfect yourself, you perfect your own routine. So
Definitely.
when you're young and making these mistakes, you're making these mistakes with your children still in the environment. So, you know, just wait till you're maturing yourself a bit more.
But you know what? With that point there, I feel like it doesn't matter what age you are in your life, you're going to be making mistakes. And fair enough, you may make more as a young person than a mature person, but then your kids may also learn from it with you.
Definitely.
Because they're not stupid. There's mistakes that my mum made that I learnt from. Maybe I learnt from them a bit more than she did, to be fair. But it is all a learning curve. It's all a learning curve. And sometimes having that perfect parent isn't always the best thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it's just like, you can never live up to them.
Yes.
You can never live up to their expectations and the bar that they set, because you know everything they've done is so perfect. Or since you've been alive, everything's been so like, mum's got this sorted, mum's got that sorted,
and I have to do this,
and I have to be this, and I have to be that. My mum's got a degree, mum's got a bloody master's. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have to make sure I go university. It's things like that. It's like
It's true, because that's when I was becoming a father. That's how I thought. I taught myself to be a parent. I just went off how my mum brought me up.
Yeah.
And watched how my mum did things as an adult and etc.
Exactly, and it's like when your parents are basically perfect, or they come across as
I don't
perfect.
think you live life as much.
No, because you're forever living in the shadow.
Yeah.
You're forever living up to that your parents. You're trying.
You don't live life because you're living for your parents.
Exactly.
This is what my mum wants. Or what do you want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Sometimes it's good to grow with your kids because you're both growing
Learn
together
at the same time, and
Obviously,
the bond gets stronger as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is different. It's so different because I know people that have had kids young and they've grown with their kids and then have kids when they're older and they do things differently.
Yeah,
I know someone,
yeah.
a brother and sister who've got an 18-year gap, and the way the mum's raised the older one is different from the way she's raised the younger one. It's kind of like, is no way's wrong.
Yeah.
No one way's right, no one way's wrong. It's just, it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, girl, have a chat. So let's move on to the next thing. Yeah.
Fucking get on there.
Alright, you're so
Hurry up! My food's cold.
Yeah. Alright. Cool. Yeah. So, because we've already answered one of the questions,
Yeah.
which was
What age?
what age do you personally feel like is the right age to become a parent? And you guys said that there is no age. It's whenever you're ready. So I'm gonna ask you 2 questions, but another question that hasn't been asked before. So yeah, the first one will be: do you think being brought up without both parents will affect how you bring up yours? Who wants to answer first?
Yes.
Yes.
Or you gonna answer together?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can answer together.
Yeah.
We've been doing it together the whole time. Right?
Okay, cool.
Yes. I think that, like we said before, like a man that's had a son and didn't have his dad, it's hard for him to have that kind of communication and bond that he needs with his son. I think it's hard because I've seen it myself where they don't know how to show that love because they didn't receive it. They didn't receive it, and it's just all kind of like,
it's like teaching him to be a man, but it's like be a man, and be tough and be this, and it's kind of like, no, there's like being a man isn't all about being tough. Show some love. Yeah. Show them that you love them, you know. Exactly. But show them how to show love.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Sometimes they don't know how to do that.
Yeah, because they haven't had the example themselves.
So both of them are learning together how to love. So that child is now learning. The son is now learning. Okay, I love my dad, and the dad's learning. Oh my God, this is what love is. Like, and they're both all kind of learning to love each other together.
Yeah.
And same with a mum.
It's very true. It is very true. I do believe in that. I do believe in that. And like people were saying before about the role models, I think both sexes need both role models.
Yes.
Maybe one sex more than the other. Yeah. Like maybe the boys need the male role model more than women.
Yeah.
The girls need the females more than the males. But you know, I feel like both sexes need both role models.
Because there's only so much the other one can do.
Yeah, because you're not paying attention.
I think we were rambling too much.
Yeah, you girls love to chat, as I said.
Oh, well, because when your man them are on there rambling, it's alright, okay? So,
exactly.
My girl said rambling. The only thing rambling is you get
because he can relate. He don't get our point of view.
I know.
He don't understand.
Okay, yeah. Moving on to the next
cold.
question. Listen. Your food don't care. Yeah, food have to get reheat now.
Not being cold like that.
The second question is: do you feel that the government helps young males who have children?
Yes,
if they look for it.
Yeah, like we said before.
No, that's not what I mean by the question.
Alright, we'll be more specific.
Yeah? What I mean by that question: do you feel like that the government help young males?
No, there could be a lot more. There could definitely be a lot more. There could be a lot more leaflets, a lot more posters. There's not, like you said, there was not as much.
More outreach in general. It's true. There could
be a lot more. Yeah, definitely.
What do you mean outreach? Like,
and they could reach out more to fathers in general. They could reach out more. So I do agree with that. There could be more available or more easy access for fathers. Maybe what we were saying before is like you have to look for it. Maybe it could be made a bit more easier. So yeah, I don't think the government gives enough help. They could give more.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. They could.
No, do you feel like, and you don't feel like they don't help enough, which is true. They should help young fathers way more.
Any more questions, sir?
Yeah, one more question, please, young ladies. Yeah.
Get to the point then, mate.
This one, might
touch a nerve.
Yeah.
Hey.
Let me get ready.
So, in a new relationship, do you think having a child from a previous relationship will add pressure to the current one?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
So why yes?
Okay, there's a number of fucking hell. There's a number of views we can take on this one. A number. It could be that the baby mother or the baby father from the past relationship is a problem. It could be that the child itself is a problem. Then bad breed people don't have to behave. Yeah. It could be that the man's not used. Yeah.
Somebody else's
exactly.
child,
then really and truly, if that's the case, then you could fuck off. Yeah. Because really, why
That's the first way I'm telling you.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not asking you to take on responsibility, but don't act like people don't exist.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
No,
It's
it's
just
definitely
like,
true.
Don't act like people don't exist. Like, no, don't do them thing then.
If that was the case, that's the first one I'm telling you. I've got a child. If you want to keep stepping.
Yeah, later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one's asking you to take on responsibility.
No.
But, you know. Anyway, yeah, so there is a number of views, but I do definitely agree with that one. Definitely can put pressure on the current relationship. So, did you want me to go into detail?
No, if you don't want to go into detail, you don't have to go into detail. If you just want to brush across the subject, you can brush across it.
I don't really know how to go into detail.
As long as you get your point across.
That was the main.
That was the main things.
It's just hard.
But yeah, it is hard. It is hard. But then, I just feel like if the person, if both people in a new relationship are fully over their old relationship and are committed to making the new relationship work,
then it will.
It can work.
Yeah,
it can work. Because eventually, if you're putting the right things in place and you're dealing with the situations, as best as you can, eventually the old relationships and the previous baby father or baby mother will eventually step back or eventually know, like, is not that no more, like, we co-parent and that's it. And that's it. It can work. I feel like it can work. It's just the amount of commitment.
mentality.
Yeah,
of
it's the mentality of
person,
both people in the relationship, really.
Yeah.
Because you, as the person in a relationship that, say for example, my baby father's causing problems in my new relationship, I have to then be a bit patient with my new partner, or a bit patient and try to understand that my new partner is going to be irritated by that, and I can't go off and jump at him for everything, because he is going to get upset. He's going to get annoyed about certain things. So you have to understand that and kind of deal with it the best you can. Like I said, deal with it the best you can. There's things you have to compromise with, but it can put. I do think it can put extra pressure on a relationship. That compared to a relationship that hasn't got all that extra baggage. I do think it is a big difference. But like I said, if both people in that relationship are working towards it and they're willing and they're understanding each other's needs and each other's past,
and communication is key as well.
Yeah, exactly. Then I think it can work. But definitely. It does put a lot of pressure.
We talk for like 6 hours.
No, that's how it feels like. Still, thank you girls for your time. Yeah. Until next time, you feel me?
Tune in, guys.
Yeah, make sure you tune in. What is it? Share, subscribe, and what?
Like.
Yeah, man. Tell them that.
I was thinking about it.
We love new friends, don't we?
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man. Subscribe.
Oh my god.
Fucking subscribe.
What is wrong with this fight?
Fucking hell. You don't know. FGTV.
Oh,
Go on, girl, say it. You're done now.
You're done now.
Skidded it back.
No.
Oh.
I know, he took it far, innit? He took it far.
Big shot, you're done now. Man's not.
For a minute, I had to fix up my grammar. Used to get this money, never did it for the swagger. And yeah, these boys love to chat, and these girls love to gossip. I'm trying to come back and be the hot topic. You got a past and a present, but you're not guaranteed a future. And I don't deal with these politics. I got too much